The following is a production of cprundown.com. The views and opinions expressed by the host of this podcast are those of the individual and not of any affiliated companies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast covering the Cedar Fair Entertainment Company, the amusement industry, and the business of fun. Here are your hosts, Karsten Anderson, Evan Schultz, and Kyle Hu.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Rundown on Fun, a weekly podcast where we cover Six Flags, Cedar Point, and everything to do with fun. And we're back, and I'm back for the first time in what, 3 weeks?
It's been a while. It's been a while. Like, I didn't even know. I was like, oh my gosh, I have the record button. I'm like, oh wait, no, Kyle's here.
It was the me episode, and then it was the me and you, Karsten episode, and now we're one big happy family again.
We're back again, and we still need to
took a family vacation. We took a family vacation. We hashed some things out, fought some things out, and now the family's back together.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, right. Yeah, no. We sure did. We definitely took a vacation, I believe, at the wrong time, because the breaking news of when we were.
I know exactly where I was. It was one of those moments that you. I would exactly say we were a
little happy.
Hey, at least we weren't inside of the speakeasy.
We were in a really good mood, and then I was in too much of a good mood, and then everyone was like, "Oh, hey, by the way, there's a brand new Top Throw 2 update." I'm like, "Huh?" And they're like, "Yeah, it's closed for the rest of the year." I was like, "Huh?" I was like, I just saw it. Well, I didn't see it physically, but I saw like videos of it just testing. Like, what? So, yeah. Well, let's pull this Band-Aid off. And unfortunately, yes, Top Thrill 2 is not going to be opening. The park announced on August 23rd that it will not be opening for the rest of the 2024 season. And also, I was going to say really quick, just to get it out of the way, we will bring you updates if there's any big movement from the ride. I'm not expecting any crazy movements and things like that. Maybe at the end of like the operating year, we'll be like, oh, hey, by the way, the trains are missing or something like that. Or, obviously if the trains are missing or something, we'll mention it and whatever. But going forward, this will probably be our last Top Throw 2 update for the foreseeable future.
Thank God.
It's nice to know that it's not like just like hidden in the back, in your brain of like, it could open. It's possibly, now it's like out of that. And now it's like, all right, let's go right on to Halloween weekends.
Let's talk about Halloween weekends.
Yeah. Woo-woo. There's lots of stuff coming. We've got some, Cedar Point decided to drop some news about the Fry, the festival. I don't know can't remember what it's called. I think I said
Happy Friars Fresh Cut Fry Fest.
Yeah, that. That's coming back again this year, and Evan and I, in glory fashion, are missing it again.
Yeah.
So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But anyway, so I will read the press release from the park, and then we'll close this chapter on Top Thrill 2 until a few weeks or a few months down the road.
Maybe till winter chill out.
Yeah, maybe.
Winter chill out's going to be spicy this year.
Or they just be like, oh, we're not going over in that area, or we're not going to have winter chill out at all.
That's just our new lawn ornament. What are you talking about?
There'll be like a nice Christmas tree. Maybe they'll decorate the tower from a Christmas tree or whatever, All right, we're getting off stuff. So anyway, so it says from Cedar Point, we sincerely appreciate your patience while Top Thrill 2's manufacturer Zamperla has been working diligently to complete a mechanical modification to the coaster vehicles. Unfortunately, the manufacturer will not be able to complete the modifications needed in time to reopen the coaster in 2024. We are extremely disappointed that we cannot open the ride this season, but remain committed to delivering a reliable, consistent, and unparalleled coaster experience for our guests in 2025. In the meantime, please accept our sincere apology for the disappointment and inconvenience. We look forward to having you visit us again in the future to enjoy the world-class world-class rides, signature events, entertainment, and attractions that Cedar Point is known for. And we thank you for your continued support of our park. End quote. So, yeah. So 2025. Yeah. I mean, Evan and I got to ride it. Kyle, you just come to Ohio to
over and over and over
to stare at it. And
I don't believe it actually works.
Every time you say that, I was like, you stayed at Hotel Breakers. You got to see it, like, at least test. But
that's almost worse. I feel like
it's. Like, I mean, it's sad, but I mean, you know what though? It all comes back down to the commitment to safety, and what Zamperla is doing and what the park is doing and everything. Like, wow, we just we messed up on our opening year, but hopefully, in 2025 they get all the kinks right. They get whatever fixed, and we hit 2025 and it's smooth sailing. So it'll be interesting to revisit for sure. But
way too excited to delete Top Thrill 2 update - Karsten from the top of our show notes. Look,
I know, right? We say this.
I don't care about the ride. I'm just so sick of talking about it.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm glad it's out in the open. I'm glad it's over with. Yeah. I'll see you in 2025. I'll catch you on Millennium.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of more sad news, we announced this. I think Evan announced it when I didn't have power and he was all by himself.
That was the me episode.
Right. But we've also got another ride closure, but this one's going to be permanent. Snake River Falls, the big crazy splash ride that you can get completely soaked on, is closing. Actually, this Monday is going to be its last day. So that would be September 2nd, I believe, if my brain is correct.
Yes.
Nice. And Kyle, you got some more information. I know the park released a blog like a few weeks ago, but they actually added some new info today on the Thursday that we're recording that about the last splash. Kyle, you want to talk a little bit more about that?
Yep, the last splash will be taking place, as you said, on Monday, September 2nd, 2024, and added to the article today is the following. Looking for a way to say goodbye to Snake River Falls and grab some limited time merch? Here are the details on what's going on for the ride's last day. Merchandise, available on Monday, September 2nd only. You can pick up one of 2 collectible and commemorative items at the general store in Frontier Town. This one-of-a-kind design tee and button will be available separately for purchase during normal park hours. There are limited quantities, so if you want to grab one, head over to the general store on Monday. And then, next up is the Last Riders. A final ride at Cedar Point wouldn't be complete without something to commemorate it, right? Snake River Falls is scheduled to close at 6 p.m. on Monday, September 2nd. The very last riders on the very last boat will receive a few extra goodies. First, you'll receive an official signed certificate validating your participation as one of the last public riders in history on Snake River Falls. And second, you'll also receive this exclusive collector's mug, not available online or in any gift shops at the park. And we'll also be around to take photos and video, so if you're one of those lucky last riders, be prepared for some added attention. And that's what they wrote. The logo on the shirt, the button, and the mug is the old retro logo, ride logo. It looks really cool. And then right up at the top by the snake, it features 1993 to 2024.
I love the old retro logo. Like the snake is definitely popping, and it says from 1993 to 2004, like in like the color of like the snake and stuff, and then it says Snake River Falls, and then I don't think they ever released merchandise with the actual Pepsi logo on it, but where the Pepsi logo used to be on the ride, they put the Cedar Point logo on, and it says the final plunge in September 2nd, 2024, which I immediately saw that, and I'm like, Evan, are you going to be at the park? And he's like, no. And I'm like, so hopefully through the grapevine of having some friends, hopefully they'll be able to purchase a shirt for me, because will be.
It's kind of funny.
So
I want the merchandise, but I don't care enough about the ride to bend over backwards to get to the park.
So what Kyle also forgot to mention is there's actually a POV that the park just recently recorded.
I will watch that in
Oh my
memoriam
gosh,
on
you
Monday.
can hear everything. You could hear like the cool, like
Dude,
the
I
lift.
haven't written it in long enough that I don't even know the stupid sounds of the ride.
Oh yeah, you can hear the lift hill. You can hear the splash into the little water
Right.
up at the top and everything. And then you go.
I will watch that at 6 p.m. on Monday.
Oh gosh darn.
I'll even put it on my TV.
Right. Well, whatever. You're
Look,
you're.
I am somebody who's always looking towards the future, and I'm so excited. I'm more excited about what the future is than I am sad about this thing going away. Because I've written this in years.
I don't think Kyle also mentioned this. It also says that Tony also says we're just a few days away from the end, but the future is very exciting. So
it's going to be 12 human claw machines.
You know what? I could do one. You could do one, Kyle.
Yeah.
I know you've been begging to do one.
I know.
They'll have one that's lit up in red. They'll have one that's lit up in blue. They'll have one that's lit up in green.
That would. Oh my gosh.
It'll be human claw machine alley.
Okay. What, Evan? What do you put there? What are you putting there for the future?
Me? Okay. In all seriousness.
Yeah.
And I think. Did we talk about this while we were recording? I don't remember if we were actually recording or not. I'm telling you, I will put very good money down on a River Blaster ride, like Carowinds is getting, like what Dollywood used to have, like what Six Flags Great America used to have. A River Blaster ride named Snake River Blasters. I'm putting the house on it.
Kyle?
I am building a really ugly box, and then I'm putting a fire in the hole type indoor coaster in there.
Ooh.
I can get behind that too.
Kyle always comes up with the crazy good ideas. I'm actually going with a flume, but it's not going to be like your traditional flume. It's going to be like a more compact one, but it'll also have like the new one. I can't remember which park it was, but it'll have that launching capability, and it'll be like one of the world's largest, biggest, smallest, fastest.
Yeah, SeaWorld San Antonio just put that. It's called Catapult Falls.
Yes, and it's going to be like that, but it's going to be like on a much grander scale, is what I'm thinking. Okay. So I guess we'll have to.
Well, little preview of our Cedar Fair Santa.
You mean Cedar 6 or whatever?
Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna play that yet. That's a lot of parks to talk about in one night.
We will definitely probably do 2-parter for sure. We'll do news and do.
Then we got to do the Grinch. That's like a month of episodes right there.
Hey, you know what? That's good
off-season. Right?
I've been thinking about some off-season stuff that we can do, because unfortunately the off-season.
Hey, we're not talking about that yet.
It's slowly creeping up, but we
still have one last summer event to talk about. It's our lovely Cedar Point.
That is very true. I'm super sad about it, but Evan, you want to talk about the fries? I'm sad. I'm missing this. I'm so freaking sad.
For the second year in a row, this is actually the third year in a row for the Happy Friars Fresh Cut Fries Fest. But for the second year in a row, Karsten and I will be at Universal Studios Orlando taking in Halloween Horror Nights 33, which I'm super excited for. And sorry, French fries, I'm going to choose that over you. But that being said, I am sad I'm going to miss this for the second straight year, because especially this year, the menu looks unbelievable.
Yes.
So I'll read from Tony's blog. Happy Friars Fresh Cut Fries Fest is back for 2024 on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, September 6th through 8th. Stop by Hot Potato and Happy Fryer to sample 4 limited time flavors only available during the event. So I should mention that as y'all are listening to this Saturday morning, yesterday was the first day of the event. Today and tomorrow are the last 2 days of the event. So, we got to talk about this now. Since 1942, fresh cut fries have been a must-have staple for visitors, and our culinary team is kicking it up a notch with these new flavors. I should mention that there's no tasting card. There's none of that. It's just these new flavors are at the fry stands, and you purchase them like you purchase the other French fries. Man, this year's menu is so up my alley. Oh my God. So first we have the 5-alarm fresh cut fries, a bed of original fresh cut fries topped with spicy chili, not just regular old chili, spicy chili, ghost pepper cheese, and a habanero pepper. Yeah, that's me.
That's
I like
totally
spicy.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. And then you get the other side of me because I'm Polish and my girlfriend is very Polish. Pierogi French cut fries. A bed of fresh cut fries topped with mini pierogi, sauerkraut, and Thousand Island dressing. Yum.
I'm so disappointed.
Maybe this means that they're going to start bringing pierogies into the park.
Hey, I mean, I'm the one that said that they're possibly going to have a pierogi bar. So maybe this is testing the water.
And then this is the one that I'm legitimately like distraught about missing.
Oh God, yes.
Sorry. Those first two are at Happy Fryer. Happy Fryer is the one by Gemini. These next two are at Hot Potato, which is the one up front by Raptor. Right? I have that right.
Yes.
Right? Okay. I do? Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
This is the one that I'm legitimately like very, very sad about. Nashville hot fresh cut fries. A bed of fresh cut fries topped with grilled Nashville hot chicken, cheese sauce, and pickles. Karsten, you remember last year. I don't even remember where they were. Were they at the Corral? They had the Nashville hot chicken tenders.
Yes.
I was crying because they were so darn spicy, but
yes, we were just in tears, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, are they that hot?" You go, "Yes," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh,
so good."
you made me try it. I'm like, you know what? They're actually not too bad. They're not too bad.
They're so good though. I love Nashville hot chicken, and Cedar Point does such a good job whenever they have anything with Nashville hot chicken.
Yes.
And then the last one is, and this would be really good too, even though the other three are more up my alley. Like this would have been my favorite at last year's event, and it's probably my least favorite at this year's event. Chicken Parmesan fresh cut fries. A bed of fresh cut fries topped with grilled chicken, zesty tomato sauce, and mozzarella and Parmesan cheeses. So that sounds really good. It looks really good. You could check out Tony's blog on the Cedar Point website. He's got pictures of all four, and they all look just incredible. Don't worry, our original flavors are still around. Original chili and cheese, buffalo, and garlic parm. And back again, Happy Fryer himself. Stop by Happy Fryer near Gemini to grab a photo with our lovable Spuds person. We'll see you at this year's appealing celebration.
I love it, and maybe the person that we asked to get some T-shirts and the swag for, the last splash, maybe they can like end up buying us fries and just putting them in like the the refrigerator or something, so we could,
Well, okay.
I'm sorry.
My flight Sunday coming home lands at like 3:00, so I could, in theory. I'm not going to, but I could, in theory.
Oh, you're gonna say no to the Nashville hot
Dude,
fries?
After staying at HHN till 2:00 in the morning for the last 2 nights, and then flying after getting up early. Hell no, am I driving out to see.
By the way, I do have to correct you. You actually have a week of planning when this episode does go out, because it doesn't go out.
Yeah,
You said you were like, "Oh, you got 2 days." I was like,
I'm
"No.
thinking
September 6th."
it's already. I wish it was already next week because I want to go to Halloween Horror Nights.
Evan. Yeah, you're just a little far further.
Yes, y'all have a week. This is Labor Day weekend. This is a normal summer weekend. Have fun. Don't drink and drive.
Yeah, right. Oh, you know what?
That's part of the housekeeping.
Us local folk, we have if you don't want to do Cedar Point, there's actually like the air show that happens here in Cleveland, and you can see the Blue Angels and stuff. Because I heard them testing, because I live close to the city or whatever, so I can hear them flying around and doing some aerial acrobats and testing and stuff. So
it's Saturday, Sunday, Monday. I'm going to Sunday's event. When I used to live downtown, it was so cool starting like Wednesday and Thursday of the week. I mean, I got the full show from my apartment. It was so loud.
Yeah, I used to work up in Key Tower over there in Cleveland, and they would just fly by so close, and it would just shake the windows, and just I was like, whoa! And I'm like, there's no way that these guys are just being like, oh, they're totally like, let's see how much we can get away with and mess with or whatever. Yeah. So, but yeah, so. We didn't have. I mean, this wasn't going to be huge and a big update. I think next week's will be a more long show.
Well, we should mention though, since it is the last weekend of summer.
Yes.
Officially, well, not officially, but it's because we still have the Fry Fest weekend. But it's the last weekend of like the normal summer season. That means season pass sale ends on Monday. So get your passes now, even though they're probably going to extend the sale like they usually do.
I only said no.
Okay, well, we'll see. So yeah, Monday is the last day of daily operations. So sad, but
Yeah. They'll be open from, well, I don't know when Thursday start, but it'll be the park
Thursdays
will
start the first Thursday. So as you're listening to this, it's the last day of August because you're listening it to on Saturday morning because you're a good listener. You're a good podcast listener. Cedar Point's open Sunday the 1st, Monday the 2nd. Then they're closed till Friday. They're open Friday, Saturday, Sunday the 6th, 7th, 8th. That's Fry weekend. And then Thursday the 12th starts Haunt. And they're open from 6 to midnight on Thursdays. They're open from 11 to midnight on Fridays and Saturdays. And 11 to 8 on Sundays. Up until the end of October. And then we have the little bonus weekend with November 1st and 2nd.
With all the Halloween weekend stuff, which is cool.
Yes. 11 to midnight those days.
Sad times.
Summer's over. That's
it
my
is.
housekeeping announcements. But we took our family vacation to end the summer.
We
That's
did,
what we're
yeah.
going to talk about for the rest of the show. Should we start with Busch Gardens, even though it's not a Six Flags entertainment park?
Yeah. That's where we visited, so.
Yeah, so what did we do? So we left Thursday night after work. It was us three and three more of our friends. Dean, he showed up. He's been on the show, I think, early on.
Yeah, I think
and
so.
That was probably our third or fourth episode. I think that was when I was in Poland way back when.
Mm-hmm.
Anywho, he was with us and two more of our friends. We drove very late through the night to Williamsburg, Virginia, where our Airbnb was, and we then went to Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, all day Friday, all day Saturday. Had an absolute blast there. That park, I can't say enough good things about it. And then Sunday, real quick on the way home, we stopped at Kings Dominion, our Cedar Point sister park, which was very fun. Got there at opening. We were only there for 2 hours. We did have to hit the road pretty quickly because it's a long drive back home, and we all work on Monday. And Kyle and Dean had to get their flights home, and yada, yada, yada. So we only had a couple hours there, but the park wasn't very busy, so we were able to get on everything we wanted, and then some. We didn't anticipate having a meal there, and we were able to do that. We spent some good time souvenir shopping, and Kings Dominion was as good as always. And man, I really, since it's Six Flags Entertainment, and it's our sister park, and this is a Cedar Fair Six Flags show, man, I want to talk about Jungle X now that I've actually seen it in person. They did such a good job with that area of the park. And Rapterra is only going to make it infinity better.
Well, we were walking through there, and I can't imagine before it looked like without that coaster track looking above, because they're pretty close to being done. And I'm like, oh wow, it must have felt very empty in that space and stuff, because they only had Tumbili and a few other things or whatever over there. But oh my goodness, looking above and stuff, and you see in the track and the supports and just everything just flows really well. I can't wait.
Above you.
It's really almost like a copy and paste of Carowinds with the airport hangar and the whole thing that they did.
Only immersive.
Only it's jungle themed, and they painted the Tumbili has painted the supports and everything look like what is it, tikis or bamboo? Sorry, yes, bamboo. And Justin was with us as well, and he's like, "Whoa, that's made out of bamboo! Oh my gosh!" And I was like, "Oh,
all right, Justin." So, I don't know if he was. It's GP over here.
You can ask him when you see him in person.
Yeah, but anyways, man, they did such a good job, and Tumbili's fun for what it is, and the reskin of Avalanche into Reptilian was, that they did a good job with that. The music in the area, I think, is IMA score. I think, the same people that did the music in Orion's area.
Probably.
I'm sure somebody could look that up because I know there's big fanboys out there for them. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, the food. Duh.
Now let's bring up Orion. I'm curious, since it was, obviously opened in 2020. I wonder if they had to cut some of that budget, because it feels like Orion has a little bit of that area, but not as much immersive as these new areas. So
yeah, I wonder. I specifically wonder if the inside of Flight of Fear was ever going to get more done to it. But that being
or
said,
even that area, I mean, because it looks like they got cool lights and everything else, but I feel like they were like, hey, we gotta cut the budget because of everything that was going on and stuff. So I'm just kind of curious. Yep. Maybe not, but
well, at any rate, Jungle X is like, that's the crown jewel of Cedar Fair, and I'm going to say Cedar Fair because they're the ones that did it, of the Cedar Fair theming. And honestly, it's better than anything at any Six Flags park too. But they did such a fantastic job, and really without Rapterra, there's not really anything good to ride there. Tumblee's fine, whatever, but it's just such a cool area of the park, and now you're going to add Rapterra, and then the food was like, I'm sorry, like Kings Dominion used to be like, this isn't Cedar Point food. I was just at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg, and they have really good food, but this food sucks. Not anymore. Their food was really, really good. I think we all had the menu said prime rib, but then like the park said carved beef or something. I don't know. It was some sort of steak dish, and they had mac and I don't know, what side dish did you get, Karsten?
I think I had the roasted vegetables.
Okay, I paid for an extra side so I could try out the mac and cheese and the potatoes, the boiled or roasted or whatever potatoes. Oh my god, they were so good. Like it was like eating at Cedar Point, which is a good thing. That's definitely a very, very, very good thing. Dare I say, the Kings Dominion food, granted, we had one meal. We didn't even look in any of the other food places.
Right, it was so fast.
Like, didn't even consider any of the other food places. As soon as we saw this beef,
I was only able to get one icy. That's how fast we were.
Right. But dare I say that meal that we had at Kings Dominion was better than anything we ate at Busch Gardens, and it honestly wasn't even close.
Yeah. I mean, the popcorn was kind of second, but
Get me started. Don't get me started on that popcorn.
Yeah, right.
So I guess we can shift over to Busch Gardens. I mean, okay, other than that, Kings Dominion, I-305 or Project 305, still fantastic.
Yeah.
Trip, Twisted Timbers, ton of fun.
Boy, does that thing need a paint job though, for sure.
Yes.
Oof.
Yes. Well, maybe with Jungle X expanding.
What else? Be great.
Dominator, that was fun. Got a piece of Jogga Lake.
I was gonna say it was really cool to see that all of our friends like Justin and Dean and whoever who have not been to that park ever, and they were able to experience Intimidate or I-305 or Project whatever or Project what is it? Project what? Yeah,
it's Project 305 now.
Yeah, that was really cool to see them, because Justin's like, dude, I've always like seen these in videos and stuff and everything, but I've never rode it. And
Justin was so hyped up after.
He was so hyped.
I was going to say I-305. That's what I always called it. And then what else we ride? Dominator was fun. I'm trying to think. Oh, Grizzly. Oh my God. The Gravity Group went in there and did the same treatment they did with the Beast, and Grizzly is now probably a top 5 coaster at that park. I hated that ride. Yeah. Hated it. And now it's so smooth.
It's got some really good airtime. It's not boring. Like, it's not shuffling around on the track and everything. Like,
it was so good. And then the other thing I wanted to mention too is like Kings Dominion was dead. Like nobody was there. It's a Sunday.
So early. Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a Sunday during non-peak season. The park was on pretty limited hours. It was hot, so everybody was anybody that did go went to the water park.
Yeah.
And yet, 2 trains were running on everything. Ride operations were fast. They weren't stacking. I mean, nothing there has more than 2 trains, but they were never stacking. It was like, wow. I mean, every time I'd gone to Kings Dominion in the past, even in the height of summer, maybe on a weekday, Intimidator's running 1 train, Grizzly's running 1 train. The ride operations are abysmal. I don't know if somebody got hired into, ride ops, like head ride operations there or what, but man, that was easily my best visit to that park. I mean, it was so well ran. Everything was so smooth from an operation standpoint and a ride standpoint. Like seriously, sincere hats off to Kings Dominion, because it felt like they were gearing up for their 50th anniversary, which they are. And Rapterra and the way that park seems to be flowing right now, next year's going to be a blast at Kings Dominion.
Yeah, no, I would definitely agree 100%.
So anyways, the other park on the trip was Busch Gardens. Non-Cedar Fair, so we're not going to go into depth, but I mean, there's not enough good things you could say about Busch Gardens, except the food kind of sucked and the ride operations are terrible.
Oh yeah, they were.
We do not know how good we have it. We really don't. I mean, I complained about it with SeaWorld. I complained about it with Busch Tampa, and I'm complaining about it again with Williamsburg. Although Williamsburg was the best of the three, I think. Like Apollo's Chariot was pretty good, and Pantheon's Ops were pretty good.
Coasters were great. I mean, it's just
Alpengeist was like, guys, what are you doing?
Yeah. And it also might be a staffing level too. Maybe during the summer they had more staffing.
Maybe. But oh my God, I mean, the place was absolutely jam packed, and but the rides are so good. I mean, you can't go wrong with Pantheon. I mean, Kyle, I think you were the one that said first that might be better than Velocicoaster, and that's like
it is
sacrilege.
It is better than Velocicoaster, not might. It is.
There you go. I mean,
yeah,
because they take such good care of it. Pantheon's so smooth, and Velocicoaster's not very smooth anymore. No. I don't know if it was ever smooth. Kyle, I don't know how soon after it opened.
I think it's because they run Velocicoaster until it's like, going crazy.
I rode it before it officially opened. Like, I rode it day one of soft openings ever. Like, we just so happened to be there that day, and it's always been this rough. That's right. I remember that. It's always been this rough. Everyone says B&Ms have a rattle when they open. That might be true, but so does Intamin these days.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's just because the trains. I wonder if because the trains are just really girthy. But I mean, Pantheon trains are still girthy too. So
Pantheon has the same trains as Velocicoaster, so I don't know. Yeah. But Pantheon was so smooth, and Apollo's Chariot was so smooth, and Alpengeist was running better than ever. I think Griffin's fantastic. I mean, God, that park, it's beautiful. I mean, we rode the Sky Ride all three routes, and it was kind of during sunset. But then, like, the food sucks. like the food there is what Cedar Fair food used to be. Like,
yeah,
I'm talking like 2010. Like, It's garbage chicken tenders. Yeah, they have Fest House and all the German food, but it's old and dried out and crappy.
Hey! I had the carved meat twice, and it was like $30 for my plate. But wow, was it freaking good! That was the only one. That's the only thing I ate, because it was like a blast from the past from 2010 when I went to Coasters with Justin, and literally we had a cheeseburger from Coasters, and I would be like,
Well, so you had that twice. I had that once, and yes, it was good. I wanted to try something different. I got the chicken parmesan from the same place. Mm-hmm. It was fine, but it was ice cold. I could have gone back and asked for a new one, but I didn't because it was packed and I didn't care. And then we had burgers that night.
Yep.
From the place up front. What is it, like Tudor's Square or I don't even know what the burger place up front. If you've been to Busch Gardens, you would know. Easily one of the worst burgers I've ever had. Okay, it was so bad. French fries were good.
French fries slapped for sure.
But oh my God, what I would have done for a Coasters burger.
Right. Oh my gosh. You don't know how good you have it, and you start. And everyone complains.
That's what I'm trying to get at.
It's like, go venture out to a few other different parks and see how good we've got it.
Like, that's what I'm trying to get at. This isn't a crap on Busch Gardens or SeaWorld Parks podcast. The point of this was because we were Cedar Fair, Six Flags Entertainment Corporation podcast. That's so hard to say still. I want to point out that what we have at Cedar Point and Kings Island and Kings Dominion and Carowinds, and what we're seeing start to happen at the Legacy Six Flags parks, we have it so freaking good. Because if you can sit here and say our food is better, and it is, than Busch Gardens Williamsburg, which used to be the gold standard outside of Dollywood, you're doing something right. And Cedar Point I would take every meal at Cedar Point over the best meal I had at Busch Gardens.
Yeah.
It's not even a contest. I would take Cedar Point's standard run-of-the-mill chicken tenders from Corral before I'd eat that beef again at Busch Gardens. It was good. It was fine. But that's just how elevated Cedar Point's food has gotten in the last, since COVID, we'll say.
Yeah. Since 2020.
That's my long spiel. It's no disrespect to Busch Gardens. They do a lot of things right. They're a prettier park than anybody, but
yeah,
they need some help in some other departments. But Yeah, our time there was fun, and I should be mentioned. Should we talk about the speakeasy a little bit,
Yeah.
it is a speakeasy. We're not supposed to talk about it.
Go for it.
So this
We're
was
supposed to
something
advertise for it.
hey, kind beer.
Yeah, kind of.
So we actually heard about this on another podcast, coasterradio.com. They're awesome. Listen to them. Busch, I don't even know. Was it 2022-ish?
Oh.
Busch Gardens came out with this Burgermeister's Hideaway, and you pay $50 and you go, it's like a mix of a bar and a show. You get a beer flight. It's an interactive show. And with that $50, you get this show, and it's like you and like 20 other people, maybe.
Yeah, I'd say.
And then you get a choice of a beer flight, a cocktail flight, a wine flight, or a mocktail flight. And that, that's $50 for all that is enough anyways, but then you're getting a really awesome show. The workers that put on the show, I mean, it's exactly what you'd expect out of a Busch, a United Parks level live entertainment thing set in Germany, set to a speakeasy. I mean, it was a lot of fun. I wish I could have gotten their actual names, the people that worked there, because they were awesome.
Yes, I agree.
And then the popcorn we were referring to earlier, on everybody's table, they give you this popcorn that's freshly made, and it's made with dill is the main, not spice, seasoning in it. And I was told by one of the supervisors, sugar, and I'm guessing a little bit of salt too. They mix that into their popcorn. It's not buttered popcorn. They just pop it fresh and they put those seasonings. It was that was the best food in the park.
I don't know. I was like, I walked in and I was like, oh, cool, there's popcorn. I like popcorn. Sweet. All right. Yeah. And then I was like, wait, it's got little green lines on it. I'm like, huh.
I ate a whole bowl of it.
Okay. And then I started eating. I'm like, oh my God.
So good. So
I was like, I was sharing a bowl with one of our friends, Cameron. And so we were sharing it back and forth. I probably ate like 85% of that popcorn, and then as soon as we were done with everything, I saw that there was more popcorn around the table. I think where Dean was sitting or something, and I'm like,
oh, not where Dean was sitting, because that's where I was eating,
or around somewhere. And I was like, oh my God, there's still popcorn left. So I literally was like eating the popcorn as I was walking out, and I'm like, it was so stinking good. If you want to have a good time and have the best popcorn you've ever had in your life, make sure you check out the Speakeasy.
Go get the popcorn.
Yeah. Can I just have a whole bag of that popcorn, please?
So
it wasn't even hot. It was just normal popcorn, but dang it, I want some now.
So as we were leaving, I'm like, in speakeasy fashion, I'm like, hey, got any more of that popcorn? And they're like, no, we don't sell it anywhere. I was asking the supervisors that weren't even in character. They're like, no, we don't sell it anywhere. But like, let us know at guest services. And I'm like, I will.
They also gave us surveys. And I think on the surveys, you put in all caps.
I didn't even pay attention to the questions on the survey. I literally just wrote, sell the popcorn.
Sell the popcorn on all your answers.
But then the next day, and it was only me and our friend Jared at this point, because the rest of y'all went to do the little cruise thing on the Rhine River.
That was
which
cool.
You said was really, really good.
Yeah.
But it was just me and Jared, and we're walking by the speakeasy, and it wasn't even like, it was like 7:00 at night. The shows were done for the day. I guess they just kind of stay in character and walk around the area. And of course I see them walking around. Of course I do, because I'm being annoying about the popcorn. And yet there they are. So I walk up to one of the guys, and he remembers me from the day before. He's like, in character, he's like, oh, you again. And I'm like, all right, cut the shit. Where's the popcorn? Can I have some? What is the recipe?
Evan's pulling out $100 bills.
Seriously. And then, a supervisor comes up and just like, oh, did you enjoy it? And I'm like, yes, these guys are amazing. They're awesome, whatever. And then I'm like, so popcorn. She goes, yeah, we don't sell that here. And I'm like, do you have any in the back? Like, do you have any Goodwill popcorn? And then that's when they told me the actual, like, the kind of the recipe. I mean, their character was giving me a whole spiel about what
they were like. Can we please get this kid out of here? They're so annoying. He keeps asking about the popcorn.
It's so good.
They're like, if you look at
any of the Busch Gardens Reddit forums or anything online about the Burgermeister's Hideaway, everybody's just like, oh my God, that popcorn was.
Oh, are they really? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. because I knew popcorn was coming, but I'm just like, it's popcorn, whatever. People are raving about it online, but it's popcorn.
You're like,
what can you do to popcorn?
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, what do you freaking do? Y'all have Busch Gardens really lowered your expectations for food, and then I go in there, I'm like, oh.
I mean, I'm a huge popcorn fan or whatever, but I know Dean is Kyle. It gets to live with Dean. I'm sure he gets to put up with his popcornness all the time. He's always got.
And I stole half of Dean's bowl of popcorn.
Yeah, well, maybe he just likes the traditional. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It was so good. That was the best part of the trip. That was honestly the best part of the trip. Anyways. Busch Gardens is fun. Go to Busch Gardens. They are also celebrating their 50th anniversary next year, along with Kings Dominion. And both parks are like an hour apart. So go
we got to see the Loch Ness Monster.
And you go watch the Loch Ness Monster, which was a fantastic refurbishment.
Mm-hmm.
Go stay in Richmond. It's like 30 minutes from each park. If you go stay in like downtown Richmond, it's a little bit of a hike from here to begin with, but once you're there, and it's such a beautiful area of the country, you go to DC. Both parks are fantastic, and I'm sure Kings Dominion is really going to spruce up for the 50th like Kings Island did. I wouldn't be surprised to see a drone show and a fireworks show and all that good stuff, along with Rapterra. So very exciting stuff happening out in the state of Virginia. That's where we're going.
Yeah.
I was trying to think of what that region of the country was called, but I like to call Virginia.
No,
near our nation's capital.
There you go. And make sure you visit with some friends. Speaking of visiting, obviously we're gonna be I'll be at the park this Cedar Point this coming weekend and stuff. But we will be doing a podcast next week, and we'll be talking about what HHN did we
yeah, next week's quite the departure from usual. Next week's going to be our HHN special, which is the Halloween Horror Nights at Universal Orlando.
Kyle's super pumped about it because, well,
he'll get to visit this week.
And you're listening to it currently right now on Saturday. He should have already been to HHN, at least one visit or so. So I can't wait to hear about his new list. I'm sure everybody else is curious about their list. Kyle, are you getting your list fired up and ready to go?
I am. So I will get to visit this week, but unfortunately on the podcast, you're going to have to wait for 2 weeks to hear about it because I'm out next week, guys. I will not be recording next week.
All right. So since next week we're going to be talking about all the houses, and Carson and I will give our hype list. Do you have your hype list on hand, Kyle?
I can't.
We won't talk about each house in depth because we'll talk about that next week. That's what next week's show is dedicated for. But just give us your hype list so we know, and then we'll revisit at the end of the Horror Nights season.
Like my hype list is all the houses.
Okay.
I got mine.
Okay. Do you want to go first then? If you have yours ready?
No. We'll talk about ours next week.
Okay. We'll talk about yours next week, and I'm going to talk about mine tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Number one for me is Slaughter Cinema 2.
This is most hyped.
Most hyped. Number one is Slaughter Cinema 2. Number two is Major Sweets Candy Factory.
Okay.
Number three is A Quiet Place.
Have you seen the Quiet Place movies?
I have.
Okay.
Number four is the Monsteros, the Monsters of Latin America.
I'm very excited for that one.
5 is Insidious.
Okay.
6 is Ghostbusters.
That one I think will be okay.
7 is The Museum, Deadly Exhibits. 8 is Eternal Bloodlines. What am I missing here?
Goblin's Feast.
Goblin's Feast is number 9, and Triplets is 10.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about each of those houses next week, so y'all listening know what the hell he's talking about. But
yeah, right. We'll talk a little bit more in depth, then give our little hype list and stuff.
Depending on what night you guys record, I might be able to join. But my park is gearing up for our haunt event, and because of that, I am working nights almost every night next week.
Nice.
Yeah,
we'll get you a live. We'll get you a live microphone, and we'll just be like, "Hey, can you go in the haunted house? Can you get us some live feedback and What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll probably record Wednesday or Thursday like usual next week, but y'all will hear it Saturday morning of next weekend when we talk about HHN. So as you're listening to us talk about HHN, both of us will have already experienced at least one night of HHN. I don't know, Karsten, when you're actually getting down there.
I don't know either.
So then the week after that, leading up to Cedar Point's haunt, we will talk about Horror Nights. We'll give our final house rankings. Kyle, he'll give his at the end of the season because he goes all year. And then we'll preview Cedar Point's haunt.
Yep.
So yeah, fun stuff. A lot of fun stuff coming up.
Kyle, I think that's
it.
probably going to
It's time.
It's time.
All right, that's gonna do it this week, guys. I'm so sorry for not talking a lot tonight. I am so tired. Coming back from vacation and being slammed at work, I'm done. I'm out of it tonight. So I will talk to all of you in about 2 weeks. Good night.
All right.
Good morning.
Well, thanks for listening like usual. Talk to y'all next week.
And make sure that you follow us and you share this podcast with all of your friends and workers. We'll talk to you guys next week.
All right, that's going to do it from us. Take it away, Justin.
Thank you for listening to the Rundown on Fun. Be sure to follow us on social media to stay up to date on all things Cedar Fair. As always, be kind to your ride operators, and we will see you on the Midway. Good night.